There's a very, very important connection between anger and being true to ourselves. I want to share with you how I came to the conclusion and why it is so important if we want to be a whole being, if we want to be true to ourselves, and if we want to feel free deeply inside of our soul. Why it is so important that we understand the meaning and the power and the beauty of anger, and that we know how to deal with it when it comes up, and how we can use it for our evolution and our freedom and our healing. And so that's what I'm about to tell you. In order to be a unique person, a unique being, it is required to have a certain amount of anger. Not anger in a destructive necessarily way, but anger in the way that we stand for our uniqueness and our desire or our expression. And it doesn't need to look like any like violent or aggressive in a way, but to be able to maintain some sort of identity, there is needed some sort of power to push away what is not my personality. Somehow it can be linked to the Ganesha and Hindi symbols and to Kali, but more to Ganesha, more the one that is able to stand strong in and push away what is not right, to stand strong in what is me and not be like, it's a good resistance, not just resistance in a stuck way, but a resistance where I know my purpose and I trust and I stand up for my purpose because this is who I am. You can see like a child has a lot of anger, has naturally a lot of anger. Even the first, like when a baby is first born, it normally screams to breathe and to, like, there's something so powerful and so like, me, I am here, this is me, this is my voice, this is me screaming into the world. And whenever a baby have a need or want something, it is anger there. And I'm not saying that we need to scream or or hit or throw something if you don't want it. But there is a grown-up, adult, healthy aspect of that anger that we can in a healthy being still use for our benefit, for our health. And I know with myself that I've been suppressing this force that protects my identity, my true self. So next question is maybe why did I suppress it? Why do we suppress it? And by the way, I went into depression, I went into confusion, and I forgot my my myself, the one that was truly me, and the one that really nourished when I was that me. It really nourished who I am, and it gave me joy and inspiration and aliveness. And I forgot it, and I I tried at some point with the anger, and the anger even got violent at some points. I've broken a lot of things throwing them away, but it didn't help. So, and I've also broken hearts because I've been angry and not knowing how to express my anger in a constructive way, in a way that was returning back to my true being, and building up and healing myself. So why did it happen that I forgot that I suppressed that being, which is me? Well, I I can see in me that it was because I believed that I had to be something specific to be safe, and to be loved, and to be accepted in the setting that I grew up in. Because it was, at that point, it was more painful to be not accepted and not like expected of me. It was more painful to not be that than to not be true to myself. So unconsciously, I guess, I chose to not be angry, and to rather be loved. For a child who is not self-conscious in the way that we as grown-ups can be, and to reflect. Well, the kid knows it, but it's hopeless. It's helpless, which leads into hopelessness. So it chooses the best coping mechanism that it can find and can adapt to, and then suppresses itself, and either uses anger to try to break down something, but it doesn't resolve the suppression of the true self. So just gives up, and either just becomes more and more, or distract from the anger and the pain of not being true to ourselves, or just suppress it completely and become someone that is not true. So that's, anger was trying, and in a way, listening to the anger that it will never give completely up, It can be suppressed a little bit, but it will never, ever be completely cut off. It will always be there. And often it comes up in outwardly reflections, like we get triggered by someone outside, and we feel a little anger or frustration or irritation. Somehow, maybe we want even to change them. Yeah. And we tell them how bad it is to be like that, or we just think it and judge them. But it all reflects. I mean, people are stupid. I'm not saying that people are stupid everywhere, but when it triggers us, and the people that triggers us might be absolutely stupid and might be do something which is absolutely wrong. But when it really triggers us, when it is something that, because there are a lot of things that are bad in this world, and some things are triggering us more, and something is triggering us very frequently. And I think this anger is actually just something, back to the point that I began this talk. Anger is trying to bring us back to our personality, to our true self. Yeah, I think that's what I'm really trying to say, that the anger that we feel, or the irritation, all those types of anger, if you will, they try to point us back to becoming ourselves again, becoming true to ourselves again. By showing something that we want to tear down or push away, so that we can be true to ourselves again. We want to change it in the reflection in the outside world. We want to change it. We want it to, no, I'm so angry at this. I'm so annoyed by this. I'm so irritated that this is like this. I want to change it. And why do we care about it? Because it is something that has or does still suppress who we truly are and what we want to do in this world. And that's the beauty of this anger. And if we are able to see it for what it is, to take the messenger for what it is, and we can look at those people triggering us as messengers, and we can look at our anger as an internal messenger, that, oh, here it is, there's a clue. There's a clue on the way back to harmony with our whole self. And if we are really brave, we can look at this, and we can really maybe even speak with this anger, speak with this part of ourselves, which is this messenger, and ask, what is it? What is it that what is it that triggers you? What is it now that you what is it that you try to protect? What is it that you try to tear down? And what is it that you try to awaken again? It is this sad, dark, suppressed, chained up dragon that is trying to burn everyone that comes close to it. And the truth is that this dragon, it protects, it gathers, it suppresses in a way. When this dragon is chained up, it keeps a treasure. It keeps it holds shut also a big treasure with it. And the only way we can get this really deep treasure, this beautiful treasure, is to release the dragon. But we have to go into the deep cave cage or cave where this anger is this anger, this fire is suppressed, and not just burst flames outwardly, but go inside and look inside the heart of this dragon that lives inside of us, and there, and ask him, why are you here? Why are you locked up? What was it back in time? What was it that you, before you were locked up, before you were angry and trying to kill everyone with flames? What was it that you wanted to say? What was it that you were flying? Did you fly free sometime? How was it then? What was it that you uniquely, like, look this dragon into the eyes and ask, what was it that, like, this big beautiful eyes of the dragon, what was it that you wanted to say to the world? What was it that you wanted to express? What was it in your heart? And maybe there's a beautiful treasure there. Maybe it's a sad story. Maybe it's a very, very sad story. Maybe the big eyes of the dragon needs to cry. Maybe it needs to burn something. Maybe it needs to scream or shout. Maybe it needs to be listened to. And maybe at some point you, as the listener, will be ready to unlock the chains and release the dragon because it's not dangerous anymore. Yeah. What does the dragon tell you? All right. So that's what I wanted to share. The beauty of seeing anger, of allowing all the parts of us to, and especially this fire, to have a voice. And to understand why we needed some time to hold this voice back. Maybe it was maybe we needed to suppress it to survive at some point, or to be accepted at some point. It's all okay. It happened. We needed to do that to be able to cope with the situation back then. Maybe we even need to keep it some sort of calm still a little bit. Maybe we need to do some changes in our lives before we were able to release this enormous force completely. But we can at least look at it, we can at least understand it, we can at least give it a voice and let it tell us what's in its heart. And then with all of us, with all the different parts the different parts that we have inside of ourselves, and with our awareness, the consciousness to observe and to listen and to understand, we can take a choice, a conscious choice, a grown-up choice for what parts we want to express and what parts we want to unlock, and how we can let them have a voice in our life. And the funny thing is that when it's trapped, when it's locked, when it's hidden, it seems like it wants to change a lot. It seems like we need to, like in the anger, when it's suppressed anger, it often feels like we need to take huge actions and big changes in our lives for it not to go nuts, go crazy. But when it's listened to, when it's given a voice, when it's seen, when it's looked into the eyes, and when it's listened to from the heart and allowed to express its heart, the changes might be big, but often then they don't have to be that big, and at least it will be more easy to see how to make a harmonic change, a less violent change, a more calm, stable, true, deep, meaningful, effective change. If needed a change at all. Sometimes it might be just a change of perspective, a change of the way we relate to something. It doesn't need to be an outwardly physical change that is needed. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Only the dragon will know. And only you will know when the fire is incorporated, is brought back into the totality of who you are.